actual joke. And I went, no, this is my second crime. I say, she hasn't changed, right? She's always been a woman because she's always identified as a woman, and that means she's a woman. Fine, if that's the rules, you are what you feel. If you feel you're a woman, that makes you a woman. Cool. You know, I'm not one of these bigots that think having all that done is science going too far. You know? In fact, I don't think it's going far because I've always identified as a chimp, right? Well, I am a chimp. If I say I'm a chimp, I am a chimp, you know. Pre-op, but, and don't ever dead name me. Don't ever call me Ricky Gervais again. From now on, you call me Bobo. So, I'm gonna have species realignment. I'm halfway there, to be honest. I'm sort of short with short legs and long arms. I sort of stoop like that. My back's getting hairier by the day. I've got fangs. I love nuts. Oh, I love nuts. And once, I was at the zoo, and I could tell people were looking at me, so I just started masturbating. So, I am a chimp, right? I am a chimp, if I say I'm a chimp. And so I've got to live as a chimp for a year, then have hormones, get me all nice and hairy. That'd be lovely, right? I'm going to stay a male chimp, so I can keep all that, right? A male heterosexual chimp, keep the same girlfriend. Jane will be happy. She loves me. She loves chimps, so, you know. And I reckon that's got to be easier for a man to turn into a chimp. We're so close. Than for a man to turn into a woman in many ways. You know what I mean? A bit of hair and a top lip like that, as opposed to your cock and balls ripped off and a hole gouged out into... No, I'm not a doctor, but that is the gist of it. I know which one I'd rather have done. And I'm not saying I think chimps are better than women. No way. Any ladies here, right? I can't see you, but to me, every single one of you is equal to a chimp. So, I'm gonna have all that done, so hairy like that, right? I'll do all that, I'll do all the... I'll retain the ability to speak English, like in emergencies. If I'm talking to Jane, I'm going, she's going, what is it, Bobo? What is it, Bobo? You've left the fucking oven on, there's a fire. What, are you telling me that if Caitlyn Jenner was being chased by a wolf, right? And there was a big fence, but she had a long pole, she'd revert. She'd be over that fucking easy. So, all that done, all that, all that, doing all that, right? I'll be legally a chimp. I'll be properly chimped up, right? I'll be able to use chimp toilets and everything, right? And then I'll be walking along Hampstead High Street, holding Jane's hand. Come on, Bobo. Like that, right? We don't even know what I was wearing, so I don't know if she's suddenly all over me just because I'm a chimp, right? But we'll be all in love, maybe matching jumpers. So, walking along, come on, Bobo, in love. Just two guys, And then, if a bigot in a white van slows down and goes, that's fucking disgusting, I just fling shit at him and run up a tree. And that's why that joke isn't transphobic, so... Cheers. As I said, I think this is my most honest and confessional show far, so I want to talk about something I haven't talked about before, and that's to give you a glimpse behind the curtain of the Golden Globes, right? And, thank you. I last hosted the Golden Globes in 2020. It was the 5th time over a 10-year period, and I liked them more and more, and the last one was my favourite, because the world changed in that 10 years. You know, like the first time I hosted them in like 2010, the press of America, they hated me. Right? Who is this annoying Brit insulting the most important people on the planet? By the last time I hosted, they were like, yeah, go on, fuck them. Fuck them, right? Because ordinary people had got sick and tired of being lectured by these multi-millionaire, nothing wrong with that, these liberal elite entertainers telling them how to vote and how to recycle, when everyone knew they were getting free jet rides to Pedo Island. So it really hit the zeitgeist. But it was always the same deal. Whenever they said, do you want to host? I said, yeah, I'll host. I said, but I'm going to write all my own jokes, which is unheard of, apparently. I said, I'm going to write all my own jokes, and I'm not going to rehearse, so you can't hear the jokes beforehand, and you can't cancel any. And they let me do that. I did have to show a lawyer the jokes about an hour before, to make sure I hadn't broken any laws, and I never had, because I know the law. Sometimes the lawyer would go, you sure you want to say that, right? And I go, is it legal? They go, yep, technically. I go, let's do it, right? I've never had a joke stopped by the Golden Globes. That says something about them, to be fair, right? So, anyway, thank you. This last time, they said, oh, you've got to see the lawyer the day before now. I went, OK, great. So I was driven to the Beverly Hills Centre, and they're all setting up, right? And the photos of the A-listers are all in their chairs. I go, oh, there's Brad, there's Leo, there's Bob, oh, this one. And this big guard showed me to this room, and he opened the door, and he shut it behind me, and I looked, and there were suddenly 10 lawyers in suits. It was usually like this middle-aged woman in a jumper, right? And I thought, what the fuck's happened? I think, oh, is it because it's my last time and they're just making sure I don't say anything? Right? And they were there, and I went, hi. I said, should I do the monologue? They went, please. Tough crowd. Right? So I had the monologue. Right?
See what the energy is. Let's check. Let's show her.
So I was doing the jokes, and after each joke, I sort of looked up, and they were sort of going, making notes like that. A couple of the younger ones were going, like that, right? And I got to the end, and I went, that's it. And they went, good. I went, oh, great. I went, yeah. And then the head lawyer, he was about 60 years old, he had like white hair. He went, oh, yes, there was one thing. Now, I did this joke, I don't know if you remember. It went, the world got to see James Corden as a fat pussy. He was also in the movie Cats, but no one saw that. And it goes on, at one point I go, but Dame Judi Dench said it was the role she was born to play because she loves nothing better than plonking herself down on the carpet, lifting her back leg and licking her own minge, right? So, this lawyer went, he said, this is all true, by the way. He went, when you say James Corden is a fat pussy, that's just referring to his role in Cats, right? I went... yeah, definitely. And he went, OK, great. I thought, this is easy. I wanted to go, call yourself a lawyer, right? And that was it. And I went, have a great show. And I left. And as I was leaving, I saw one of the other lawyers lean in and show this head lawyer his iPhone. And the head lawyer went, oh, yeah. He went, oh, sorry, Ricky, can you come back a minute? Right, so I'm there. I went, yeah. So he had the phone there. They'd looked up the word minge. I thought I'd gotten away with it, right? So it's now like I'm getting told off. And the head lawyer said, now it says here that the word minge is a derogatory term for female genitalia. I went, well, yeah, it's a slang word for vagina in England. You don't even use it here, do you? He went, no, we don't, but we got around the world, and with due diligence, now we know it's derogatory, we'll have to bleep that word live. I went, don't bleep the word, like, because people at home won't know what I've said. It'll ruin the... I said, it's literally the punchline. He said, if it's derogatory, I have to... I said, well, what word could I use that you wouldn't bleep? And he went, well, you could say vagina. I went, I'm not saying vagina, right? Anything funny about it. It's so clinical. I was thinking, Judi Dench at home going, why is he talking about my actual vagina, right? I said, minge isn't like that. It's not so specific. Vagina's so... Where's your vagina? There, right? Where's your minge? There. It's like... Then one of the younger lawyers went, what about box? I went, I'm not fucking saying box, mate, right? So imagine looking at her own box, right? I said, minge is perfect. I said, people won't know what... If they're American, they won't know it. I said, it's not offensive. It's like... I said, kids use the word in England. Right? Right? They weren't having it. So I said, what about flange? Right? So they looked up the word flange, right? And he went, well, that'd just be confusing, because in America, a flange is a part of a sink unit. I went, oh, well, I said, please let me say minge and don't bleep it. I was really rooting for minge, right? It was like 12 Angry Men. I go, no one's leaving till I can say minge, right? And after about 10 minutes, I wore them down. Whatever they said, oh, that won't work. So I was going, please. I said, I'll write them. You won't get any complaints and all this sort of... And eventually, the head lawyer went, OK, you can say minge. I went, and you won't bleep it. He went, no, we won't bleep it. I went, you promise? He went, yes. And I left. I knew they would. And they fucking did, right? So, when I said minge, I pointed.
You're watching another episode of Religion is a Joke here on Stranger Bible. What Ricky Gervais exposes in this bit isn't just comedy. It's the strange psychology behind how humans cope with mortality. He starts with something refreshingly honest. Getting older doesn't automatically make you wiser. It mostly makes you aware that your body is quietly negotiating its exit strategy. And that's where religion often steps in, offering certainty where biology offers silence. But here's the contradiction. Religion promises life after death, a blissful paradise, reunion with loved ones. Yet we spend our entire lives terrified of dying. If the afterlife is so good, why does every instinct in the human body scream, run? Through satire, Ricky Gervais reveals a deeper truth. Morality changes with time, culture, and social approval, never through divine revelation. What one generation calls sacred, the next generation calls monstrous. And suddenly, the comforting idea of absolute morality starts to look suspiciously relative. What scares people isn't just death, it's uncertainty. The idea that no one knows what comes next? Religion resolves uncertainty by turning the unknown into rules, pretending to offer answers to the unknowable. The brilliance of comedy is simple. It strips away sacred framing and asks one uncomfortable question. If God is all good, all-powerful, and all-knowing, why hasn't he eliminated evil and death itself? This question isn't a mystery, it's a contradiction. If a being is truly all good, it would want to end unnecessary suffering. If it is all-powerful, it would be able to do so. And if it is all-knowing, it would know exactly how. The continued existence of evil and death suggests one of three things. Either that being lacks power, lacks goodness, or doesn't exist at all. Rather than evidence of a hidden divine plan, suffering looks more like a natural consequence of an indifferent universe, one governed by biology, chance, and time. Comedy highlights this tension by doing what philosophy often struggles to do. It asks the question plainly and lets the silence answer. Thanks for watching Stranger Bible Comedy. Please remember to like and subscribe.